Yves Salomon-Fernandez has been at the helm of Greenfield Community College for about 4 months. Salomon-Fernandez is the first woman of color to lead the college, and among her goals is to close the gap that statistics show exists in reading and math skills between students of color and their white peers. She spoke with me in the studio.
I've worked here in Massachusetts before, and in fact, most of my career has been in Massachusetts in the eastern part of the state. I've long known that Greenfield Community College has stood out as a leader among its peers. We have the highest graduation rates, the highest retention rates, and of course, it's the most beautiful part of the state. So all of that appealed to us in the culture of the Pioneer Valley, being the first in so many areas and being surrounded by so many great colleges and universities. There were lots of things about the people, the environment, the college itself, and the region that appealed to me.
And you said first, and it jumped out to me, you're the first African-American president that the college has had. What do you think that having a diverse person in a leadership position like that offers GCC?
I think it's very important. We know that demographically our country is going through a transition where in a very short time we're going to become a plurality nation. So there won't be any particular race or ethnicity that has a majority. But en route to that, we see that there will be particular groups that hold a larger percentage than they do today. So we have that demographic transition happening. We also know that beginning next year, millennials are going to be the largest U.S. adult population in the U.S. That also has
outperforming those baby boomers.
Exactly. So there are lots of implications there, and I'm not a millennial, but I am at the tail end of Generation X. So as we're entering, or actually we're in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, I think there are lots of implications, both for changes that are happening in technology and healthcare, in so many areas, but also demographically. So I'm honored that the college really wanted to have the best person for the job, and my race and my ethnicity and those things didn't matter to them, but they really wanted to make sure that they give everyone a chance. So I'm delighted to be the first and also assume the responsibilities of being the first.
And you've been on the job for about 3 months now. The Daily Hampshire Gazette did a report when the finalists were coming through, and they said something that I thought was interesting when talking to the search committee members. One of the members described you as, quote, the choice that doesn't feel quite as safe.
Yes.
What did you think? What's your reaction when you hear that?
I thought it was very consistent with the way that I see myself and my record elsewhere, both in Massachusetts and in New Jersey. I'm certainly an innovator, an entrepreneur. I'm someone who looks at things outside of the box and very future-oriented, very forward-oriented. And I bring a very strong and diverse background, both in the liberal arts and also in the social sciences. So I'm definitely not that safe person. I look at things differently and see things differently. And just being who I am, having a background that is so different, I think makes it, made me stand out.
Because your background is very interesting, because you've worked in and around education, whether it was as an educator or now as a president at several different institutions. But I thought it was interesting. I noticed early in your career, you were teaching as an adjunct professor at community college, but also at a 4-year liberal arts school, which is, you know, what you attended, and then went on to do more than that. When you had those two sort of side-by-side, community college and private institution, were there things that jumped out to you as thinking, this could be done better at this other institution, maybe best practices to take?
Absolutely. I see myself as a builder, and I also appreciate the mission of the community college. So it's very different from, say, Boston College, UMass Boston, even Northeastern University, Salem State, other places where I've worked. It's very different. It's very diverse. We have very strong liberal arts programs at Greenfield Community College, but we also have very strong professional programs, and we cater to the traditional age students as well as adult students. And we have a variety of programs that target them and meet their individual needs. So for me, the community college space is a space that is consistent with my values, the difference that I want to make in the world alongside others who share that commitment to access and equity.
Yeah, one of the things that I think a community college affords people in the region, and it fills a need here too. Not everyone might be looking for that 2-year degree, or to move on to a
Right.
4-year program, they might need career re-education, retraining, and we know that there's a skills gap here in the region.
Absolutely.
How does GCC either help lead that discussion or look at the landscape and say, we're missing this type of career retraining course, and then sort of fill that gap? Are you looking at both at the same time?
Absolutely. So to go to the first part of your comment, we are seeing increasingly that students are taking non-linear pathways to their 4-year degree. So increasingly more students are going to school, working, taking some time, or taking a gap year first, then going to school or working. So we're seeing those pathways as being nonlinear. And I think what Greenfield Community College is very good at doing is adjusting and adapting to the student needs. And our programs, compared to traditional 4-year schools, we've been able to update and be much more malleable compared to other more rigid 4-year schools. So for instance, we work with employers to identify what are the gaps, the needs, the labor shortages that they're experiencing, and how do we create these programs, whether they're more short-term, long-term, on campus, at their sites, to be able to train people for that. So we have a level of malleability that other institution types within higher ed don't have. So that's worked very well both for students and for regional employers. And we know also that about 90% of community college students stay in their communities. So we're able to respond to that regional economic need and contribute to the regional economic vitality.
Something I understand about you that I've read is that you're interested in looking at the achievement gap. And we've talked about that here with others on our program. And it's a challenge for students here in the region. And for folks who aren't familiar, the achievement gap is more classically defined as, where students are getting an education that's different than their peer group. In our region, that tends to be African American and Hispanic students that might not be performing at the same level as white or Asian students, and helping those students get that same strong education that their peers do. How do you, I know it's a big issue, but what's one way that you look at filling that gap?
Yeah, I have to say it's an area of strength for Greenfield Community College. We've just recently looked at our data and we saw that our minority students are actually outperforming our white students. So it's something that we're very proud of, and we're drilling down to say, what is it about what we do with students of color that allowed them to outperform their peers? So
is it too soon to know exactly why?
Yeah, it's a little bit, we're trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
but we also know that we provide an inclusive environment. So we know that's part of it, but we are looking at what are the overall factors that we think account for and explain that high performance. And at the same time, there are also other measures of the achievement gap that we need to look at. Is there a socioeconomic difference there also? Are women performing, our female students performing at the same rate? So there are other dimensions to look at it beyond race, but we're very proud of our achievement there around race. And we also want to focus on what additional extracurricular opportunities can we offer our students. So in terms of both the opportunities and the achievement, are we seeing better performance?